Good morning, y'all. This is GQinBURQUE, Gino Quintana. Just getting my day started. It's about 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, I kind of thought that sleeping later than normal wasn't going to last forever. I got up a little bit before 2. I laid down about, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And here I am. I just couldn't sleep. It's that 1:45 came around and it was like time to get it. So we'll see what this day brings as far as that's concerned. It's like it's amazing how quick time just flies by. Like it's gone. That shit's straight up out of here. Uh, Yesterday had a pretty good day. Yesterday, not eventful. Just kind of hung out. Went and got gas. Um, didn't really do a whole lot of anything. It's been pretty windy these last couple days, and uh, the wind's just there's so much fields and dirt and stuff out here that once that wind kicks in, you don't want to be outside. You get sandblasted. Like if I stayed out long enough, like I would sandblast my tattoos and my color off of me. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, so we just kind of chilled, picked up a little bit, watched some TV. Um, just I did chop a little bit of wood before it got too windy outside. Uh, Chopping wood that's a good workout. Get some exercise in. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's gonna be a long day. um, all right. So anyhow, let's wrap this up. Let's get this started. Uh, you know, been doing some quite a bit of reading and stuff lately. And uh, God, it's I don't know. I'm in a pretty good place. I don't know. I hear that saying, "Sick and tired of being sick and tired." You know, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Um, I really have to think and look at stuff. I've been doing a lot of self reflection, a lot of freaking soul searching, like more than I've ever done, and not just like, oh yeah, yeah, like truly looking at shit, and I guess for the first time, like serious, I guess, like, so I'm thinking like, my mom said something the other day about jobs and how you can't say that, and I'm like, why? Like, and I'm like, I guess I'm a little perplexed because, like, we all know what you can and can't say, like at least what's socially accepted and what's not, as far as you know. We all know that we shouldn't be in public talking about just stuff that's inappropriate. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, "Oh, define inappropriate. What is inappropriate? And it's inappropriate to you may not be inappropriate to me, and all this other bullshit." Well, anything. This is where that whole. Sorry, I'm sketching my back. Where the whole minority and majority thing screw shit up, because it doesn't say what's accepted by the majority of people to be considered appropriate. Um, it- and so I just like my mom was like, "Well, look at your last job." Well, what about it? And the one before that, and it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Um, and it's the more and more I read, the more and more I realize that um, I am different than people. My last job, I pretty much told the director of IT that she sucked as a manager. um, didn't realize I was gonna lose a job over that. Like, it didn't even cross my mind. Especially when they're talking about diversity, inclusion, and open door policy, and this and that. So when I had this meeting on a Friday, um, I had no idea what was going on. And I was about 3 days later on a Friday, I ended up getting laid off. I collected unemployment and a lot. But I realized that because of just the gifts that I've been given and the person that I am, and my own moral compass, if you will, ethical compass, whatever it is, I have no problem um, saying exactly what's on my mind and exactly how I perceive stuff. Uh, but apparently there's a place and a time for that, or some people don't take too kindly, especially people up on the ladder, when you tell them that they suck pretty much at their job. I would take that as like, really? Why the hell would you say that? Let's talk about that. And I'd listen to the person like, wow, that's really what you think of me? You barely been here like a year. What the hell do all these other people think of me? Like, yeah. Because obviously, if someone has the nerve, if someone has the nerve if someone actually has the nerve to tell you that you suck at managing and why, and has worn the hats of a manager, business management degree, psychology, sociology, all that horse shit. Um, you might listen to what they have to say. Um, You know, I'll just put it to you like this. This is for everybody that runs a company or in charge of anything, really. Um, when you have a leadership model, if you will, um, that isn't truly functional as far as a team due to certain attitudes or whatever, it's time to clean house. Uh, you know, I'm gonna throw it out there because I don't give a shit. It's the damn truth. But so I was working at the University of New Mexico, um, and IT was broken up into several mini groups or mini teams, if you will, which is normal, you know. Uh, 'Cause you'll have your database team, you'll have your hardware guys, you'll have the security guys, you'll have your SQL, guys, your administrators, applications team, networking team, all these different teams. Um, when I first got there, it was like, why do I have never had so much pushback about getting shit done or helping one another than in my whole entire life. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, it's just crazy. Crazy. I'm just like, whatever. Uh, but it got to the point where it was just like, there's this one thing I'm trying to accomplish, and I don't know if it's I'm the new guy, whatever it is. A couple guys are really helpful, really cool, but just based off of their comments and other people's comments about their boss, I realized that I'm so glad I don't work on that team because there's no freaking way I could deal with a manager like that. And I felt bad for these guys. Um, this is the Unix team. Felt bad for them. Can't remember exactly what happened. There was this interaction. It was just, one of the managers put some inappropriate comments on a ticket that I was working on. And, I emailed him directly and I was like, yo, sorry, we're one big team, blah, 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 And his response basically to me was the way I took it was, and some of it's word for word, was I'm glad you think we're a team, or that makes one of us, or so I can't remember. Basically, what he said was, well, you're freaking stupid to think we're one big team because we're really not. Um, and I'm thinking, like, wait a second. I'm like, you're a manager, so you're a peer to my manager. Um, and that's your attitude? It's your ass freaking glad you think we're a team. What the fuck? We work for the same team, right? Like, I just blew my freaking mind. So I replied back, and I was just like, blah, blah, I can't remember what I said. I got the email somewhere. Um, and He didn't reply to my email. I even carbon copied my boss on that email, the first email. The boss never even mentioned it to me, didn't say a damn thing to me about my interaction with this other manager. And didn't really think much of it. I brought it up on my one-on-one, and my manager's comment to me was even more alarming, which is why I came to the conclusion that that whole department was screwed up because of the leadership. Now, a screwed up department based off leadership typically is from the top down where it's screwed up, not from the bottom up. And it could be from the bottom up if there's a huge disconnect between upper management and lower level management. Don't get me wrong, it's possible. But for the most part, it's because the management from the top down is not being honest, transparent, and just fucked up. Don't see the big picture. They see a business concept, but they don't understand what goes on down here. See? So after he said, well, it's a good thing you didn't reply, because I told my boss, well, I didn't end up responding because I was just like, whatever. Obviously, this dude's pissed off and doesn't think we're a team, and you know, some of the mannerisms that I saw within my boss told me basically that this other manager is not a team player and is an ass, period. And in order for someone like that to be and get away with acting that way is really one of two things, maybe three. One, management isn't even aware of this asshole. Two, they put up with this shit for whatever freaking reason. Or three, it is a dog-eat-dog world, and the team is so dysfunctional that that's the attitude amongst everybody. Just crazy. It's crazy. But so my point is that although being straight up and honest and real with people is something that, you know, is desired by most people, because you know, you don't want to be misled or deceived and white lies and all this other horse crap. You know what I mean? You want to keep it real. No surprises. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would much rather know the truth, even if it hurts, than to freaking hurt 10 times worse when I find out it's a fucking lie or I was misled or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Like, but anyhow, just based off my conversation with my mama yesterday, was like, shit, maybe I need to rethink. Maybe I do need to be more present, more thoughtful of, okay, is there another way I can say this? It's going to take work. I mean, shit, I'm 48 years old. I've been popping off whatever comes to my mind for all my life. So to go, wait, okay, should I tell my boss that she sucks as a manager, or should I just have a one out in front of HR and my boss? Do I tell this lady that, or is there a better place that I can have this conversation with her? Well, see, that's where it comes. Is like, okay, if I have this conversation with her without my boss and HR being present, what comes of it? or do I just be straight up in front of HR, my boss? Well, to me, because I've dealt with this shit for 28 years and know how people play these damn games when it comes to businesses, management, and all this other crap. I've seen it from transparent to so freaking cloudy that it's just and everything in between, and just not sharing shit with other people and this and keeping this under wraps and just I'm like, um, and then to top it off, so I'm on it. Well, I'm at UNM. I want to, get on to the ethics committee and represent my pay grade and our department and their diversity and inclusion and this and that. So I'm talking to a coworker actually who's telling me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I've been wanting to do that, and it looks like there's an opening coming up because there's only so many, slots or whatever. And this is a guy that's like on the board for this team, or like the main people for this group or this initiative about diversity and ethics and this and that. And so we're talking, and I'm sharing some stuff with him, and what I wanted to do, and the dude just straight up was like, Gino, that group is a joke. I said, what? What do you mean? They say all this, they say all that. It ain't. He said, it's just not. It's to make, it just looks good, but it is not that way. They don't do what they say. I'm like, what the fuck? Damn. See, he wasn't going to go back to get, into that position again. Because he straight up was like, no. And it just blew my mind. Because I totally was like, yeah, that's what's up. It's cool that y'all. He said it's just to show face. That's it. Say face. There ain't, but there. And you know what? The way things panned out for me with that job, because I loved that job, man. I took a $30,000 a year pay cut because I'm like, man, I can get a free education out of this. And they're talking about someone who loves to fucking learn and loves to go to school. So it's like, hell yeah, all day long. So yeah, so if I could go back, I would definitely go back and not say what I said. I'd still say it. I would just say it differently. And that whole conversation on that Monday, October 19th, would be a completely different conversation. But it's okay. There was other things that had happened, and it is what it is. I had my faults there. They had theirs, I feel, and I was surprised that it occurred that way, especially after all the accolades and things that I had gone from upper management to senators of New Mexico for helping them with their websites and working off. I mean, I was an analyst, so pretty much on call 24/7, even though you're not the on-call person. But when you're the subject matter expert in things, sometimes you working even though you're not getting paid or you're not getting that extra for being on call or whatever the case is. So it kind of blew my mind. And then as the more and more I think about stuff, I'm like, what's even more funny is that me and that director, there's a chance that we could be related, which is even funnier. But anyhow, I ain't tripping. Um, it's just, you hear about keeping shit real and saying what's on your mind. Well, yeah, you got to be honest about stuff and be true to yourself. Because the only thing that's happening when we're not actually being real to people about what's going on in us or in our head is we just creating some big ass mess. Um, and then you start questioning yourself because you're like, fuck. And it's like you ain't got the guts to say what's really on your mind because you're afraid of what? And where it's really difficult is when you're dealing with someone that has no problem saying whatever comes to their mind without thinking of how it could be interpreted or how it might offend somebody. And you're sitting there trying to yeah, uh, it's just, something you have to navigate through, I guess. Um, and it's hard, believe me. I know I've made some changes, and some people don't want you to change. Oh no, they don't want you to be better than you are. Uh, See, I've noticed that as long as there's a reason for everyone to focus on something other than the person staring back at them in that mirror, um, that's a safe place for a lot of people. It's like, oh, look over there, look at Johnny Boy. Shit. He just got out of this and that. Now look at you over there, da 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 da. And then there it is. Talking about Johnny Boy who got caught up in some bullshit in the wrong place at the wrong time, went to jail for 6 months, gets out, met a whole different type of people, gets out, start running around with these people and da 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 da, this, that, and the other. And people go, wow. Well, all you asshole family members that are sitting there pointing fingers at old Johnny Boy, um, you don't think that guy or that woman can feel? Huh? Really? But hey, if we can keep focused on Johnny Boy, guess what? We ain't got to look in the mirror. We don't have to talk about me beating the kids or freaking the dog. We don't have to talk about that. Nobody's even looking this way because everyone's so occupied with Johnny Boy. So if that's the case, why would anybody want Johnny Boy to change? Why would they want him to get better? They don't. They want Johnny Boy to just keep on being Johnny Boy because as long as that attention and everything focus on Mr. Johnny Boy the fuck up, everybody ain't looking at me. Maybe I could keep my skeletons in that closet to the day I die. Ain't nobody looking at me. I see the people that fear what the future could look like with a healthy person don't want you to change. Especially people that are manipulators, controllers, obsessive, possessive, uh, you know, um, abusive, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever the case is. Um, and I mean, if you're an abused person, it's like this the other extreme of that of um, they don't want you to get better. It's not, I mean, which is still change because you'll get more healthy, you'll get more self esteem. And as these things start to come to fruition, before you know it, you realize your worth, that you can survive without this person. And the next thing you know is you're working on being a better version of yourself. And you can get away and get out of that. So then you just get out of that whole abusive shit, move forward, everything's good. Um, but they don't want you to do that. They want you to stay broken. It's the same thing with family and friends. They say they want the best for you, but believe me, behind your back, they talking all kinds of shit. People, they talking about you and I can't believe Johnny Boy this and then. Did you see what he said last night? You see, you know, um, people don't get that. They don't see that. And you know what? For me, because I know that, I've witnessed it, I've seen it. Um, it's freaking awesome for me because I'm sitting back, and this happened to me recently. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, I had a good chunk of my blood relatives being misled and deceived and told shit about me that the furthest thing from the truth by people that are my relatives that don't even fucking know me. Um, so where they came up with their nonsense to go tell other family members, and it's like, what the fuck? I've been in all y'all lives for how many years? You don't know nothing about me. I don't talk to your ass. I'm like, but you think you know me well enough to go to this family member and that family member and say this about me or that about me, and it's like, and it's from people that I like would have never. I, but it still just blows my mind. Um, but see, I'm just that person where I'm like, whatever, man. I know the truth. God knows the truth. I don't give a shit. I don't have to explain shit to you, to you, to you, to you. Fuck you guys. Period. So I'm just like, I don't care. Does it bother me? Hell yeah. But you know what? All I could do is say, you know what? I know who I am, what I think, how I think, what triggers me, what doesn't. Uh, you know, where my ambitions are, what my moral code is, what my rules of life are, the code that I live by, just because that's just what I live by. Um, I know all that. But see, there was somebody wasn't being honest about shit, wasn't doing what, wasn't the angelic like person that everybody thought they were. And so it all come back and bite them in the ass. And so guess what? Because as time goes by and the truth comes out and people hear and see, um, they come to their own conclusion. And I had nothing to do with it because they won't even talk to me, some of my family members, for a long time. This all just in the last 16, 17 months. And I'm like, for what? What the fuck have I ever done to your ass? Well, come to find out, it's because these other motherfuckers in my family talking shit. Don't know nothing about me. They might have heard all the crazy shit that I've done. They've heard through the grapevine, or I witnessed it, or whatever the case is. That doesn't define who I am as a person. It defines a certain moment in time where the person I am jumped out of myself. And I let this control this and this, instead of this controlling this and this. So I've made some bad choices. Doesn't define me as a person. Doesn't give anyone the reason to be slandering, talking shit. And so here I am. Going, thank you, Lord. Everything you've told me has been true, has come true, everything. So I didn't have to worry. You see, because when you tell stories about somebody, you're banking on the fact that whatever experience you had with them or whatever you heard from about them from this person or that person, you're pretty much banking that that shit's real and 100 and is like bam. When anyone starts talking shit about someone else, that just to me sets off a fucking flag. Because there's there's a quote. See, in my cube, I always have quotes from people that are up, and let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I can't remember who. I think is it Eleanor Roosevelt that said it? I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt. Here we go. So this is a quote. So I always get these motivational quotes, and in my cubes, typically if I like it, I'll cut it out. I'll put it on my cube, and just every so often, it's nice to just see that quote to stay focused and to not really worry about the day-to-day stuff that comes with working in an office or working for somebody. Um, oh, that's it. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at. Anyway, here is. Wow, it was Eleanor Roosevelt that wrote it. So it says, "Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people." And this is just a little excerpt here that says, let's just dive into this quote, and let's start by defining ideas, events, and people. Discussing people here means to talk about a person, typically in a negative, gossipy way. Discussing events means to talk about the events happening around the world. Discussing ideas means to understand the higher level messages behind an event, to understand human behavior, to look beyond what's given, and to find solutions to help the world. Um, Bam. Small minds discuss people. And so that's kind of one of those things where I'm getting at is um, venting's one thing, but to just continue and to put people down and slander them, to get other people on your bandwagon or whatever you want to call it, is freaking foolish, evil, and hurt and harmful. Um, People do it all the time. Anyhow, I'm going to read the daily devotion. You know, we are all human and we all have emotions. We all go through feelings. Things affect us all differently. Um, some of us are willing to admit to that, to admit to what makes us tick and talk, to talk through things without fear of judgment from others, and this stuff. Then there's another group of people that are put on this shell to fit in. Don't want to hurt no one's feelings. Don't want this. Don't that. Whatever. Um, and that sucks because they're not really being who they are. They're just being a certain way to fit in because of whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know. um, it's almost one of those things. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm sitting here thinking about. Anyway, let's go on to this daily devotion. What I was gonna just say real quick though is that um, we all human. We all sin. I have my bad things, believe me. But my beliefs and my ethical code and the person that I am and everything um, is who I am. But I also am human, and I have all the emotions that all other humans feel: frustration, anger. Uh, you know, but the difference between me and a lot of other people is I have no problem expressing that emotion or them feelings. Um, and I learned that a long time ago, to not hold back, like let people know how you feel or how they affect you. A lot of people can't. Um, and we need to learn as a society to do that more, because misleading people or not being true to yourself, or you learn to dislike yourself because you're like, fuck, you'll go do something that you don't like to do or hang out with people you don't really care to hang out with to pacify this or pacify that. And it's like, who you living for? You living for all of that? Or are you living for that and this? Because once you live for that and for this, because this should be living for that, right? So you live for that, you live for this, so much easier to be you and to tell people how you feel or how you see things. You know, if someone says, hey, what do you think about this dress? See, most people, oh, it look good, but I'm going to tell you, I might not say, man, that look like shit, but I'm going to be like, yeah, nah, that probably not. You know, I'm going to tell you that it don't look good on you. Or that booger in your nose, or the freaking big old white feather on your ass. I'm going to tell you. Most people won't. They're not going to be like, yo, you got a booger right there, dog. Or, you know, because I've done this, and it's usually like, look, I'm not staring at your ass. It might be a nice ass, but I ain't trying to say that, and I'm not staring at it. But what I want you to know is that you got a big old white feather sticking on your ass. Step out of that comfort zone, man. All right, April 8th. Humble. Man, it never fails, man. Humble leadership. It is humbling to think that God may call upon us to accomplish major achievements for his glory. Joshua wondered how he ever could fill Moses' shoes. Gideon was baffled that he, a low-class laborer, could be summoned to serve as a general in God's army. Paul, who identified himself as the chief of sinners, was forever astonished to think that God would use him to bring the gospel to the Gentiles. But God was able to use something in them that they didn't see. He brought them to a place of humility and willingness to serve. God does not seek the services of the pompous. He doesn't need leaders who want fame or power. Those are a dime a dozen, and they do nothing for his kingdom. God is constantly seeking those who are willing to serve. Such leaders can, through his Son, change the world. Hello, God, it's me. Will you give me equal measures of humility and God confidence to boldly pursue your plan for me? And that, my friends, is why I constantly am reading my books and stuff, because there are just certain things, it seems like every single day, that are just so fitting for current, past, and something to look to in the future. And that says it all right there. Um, it's been something I've been trying to figure out, is like, God, what is my purpose here? What am I gonna, what is it that you want from me or need from me, or how do I, how can I make this world a better place for our kids? How can I make it a better place for all people, whether we feel and believe in the same things or not? Well, first is by not judging and accepting. Um, and not having fear. Different shouldn't equal fear. Different should equal curiosity. Like, wow, huh. Like, there's nothing more in this world that I would love to do than to just go visit the entire planet, everywhere. If that means going to the jungle and living in a fucking hut, then that's what it means. Um, I'm intrigued by people and their beliefs and their customs, their food. Um, I'm gonna say this again and again. The universal language is love. Everybody understands what love is and how it feels. All we all need and want is that happiness. We're alive. Let's enjoy this time we have together. Let's enjoy this time that we have because it doesn't last forever. So I'm going to ask is like, if you're fighting any battles, regardless of what those battles are, it's like think about what's going on right now over in Russia and Ukraine and all that. Think about it. So here's this dipshit, fucking Putin. God, I can't stand that dude. I don't wish harm on anybody. I just think that's kind of weird and shit to be praying to God to hurt somebody or cause them harm. I don't do that. But what I'm going to say surely going to sound like that. And that is, you know what? If that dude was to be taken somewhere, dismembered into 100 pieces, fed to the damn sharks or the pigs, whatever, I would smile and be, thank you for allowing that jackass to take care of one of his own. Thank you, Lord. Out of here. What do you think about it? All those people that are their whole lives, their whole livelihood just tore the fuck up, pop, overnight. Not only the Ukrainians, but the Russians too. You're talking about one dude, one guy that could just cause a fucking massive fucking shitstorm across the planet is controlling nuclear weapons, having his people fight a war that 94% of them don't even believe in or understand what the fuck he's doing, because it's not like Ukraine did anything to the fucking Russian, you know. Um, but imagine all that anger and destruction, money wasted on what? See, all that could have been used for everybody to have a better life. So instead of all these people being able to enjoy life, find their happiness, smile, feel safe, laugh with their loved ones, how many hundreds of thousands of people had to leave their homes? Are the aggressors doing shit they don't want to probably do, but if they don't, they know that what their fate and their family's fate's going to be. The people that are protecting them, protecting the country. See, all these people should be at home with their family, trying to survive, just loving on one another, not worrying about what these people across this imaginary border fucking is. You know what I'm saying? Um, what they're doing. Mind your business. We mind our business. We can agree to disagree on this, that, and the other, and we got our own separate shit going on. I ain't trying to force my shit on you. You ain't trying to force your shit on me. We're good. It ain't like that. I feel for the Ukrainian people and the Russian people. Said it 3 years ago. I'm almost 4 years ago, and I won't say it again. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Those four people right there, those four countries right there, problems. Problem. Um, Cahoots and problem. See, if you can't look ahead to see what's really going on with Russia and with China and with Iran and with North Korea, you maybe just so lost in selfishness and living with these blinders on that you can't see it. But I could see it. I said it almost 4 years ago. Watch out for these four people. This is why. Look, we're still dealing with shit, and look, Russia stepped it up. China fucking around with the South China Sea, man-made islands and international waters, and then you flying through it, and they threatening to shoot us down, and we're in international waters, and they're trying to claim this and do that. It's like, so we have two world powers, if you will, basically attempting to accomplish the same thing. Think about it. This planet's made out of how much water? How much of the actual surface of the world is water? So if you can control the water ways, you pretty much can get shit done. So think about what areas dipshit Poontang has fucking went after. All areas where there's water, ports. Think of China, South China Sea, water, ports, man-made shit, testing. Who's gonna do what? Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. We're gonna still build these islands no matter what y'all say. Same thing with Russia. Look, they went and took Crimea. Testing, see what's gonna happen. What will be the outcome of this? Guess what? Nothing. Russia took over a whole nother fucking country and shit. Nothing happened to them. So guess what? Oh, I didn't do shit about that little area. Let's go to the next level. Breaks my heart to know that there's all these people, not just there, but across the world, that are struggling daily and fighting daily for their lives and to survive. And I'm talking everywhere in the world. Now imagine if you could see all those people that are going through all of that, laughing and smiling with their family, feeling safe, not having to have people constantly looking around and making sure that the enemy ain't here to kill us, take our shit. If we don't change as a whole, as a people, and it may not sit or resonate with a lot of people, but if we don't change as a people and really look at the future of this planet and those that we love, born and the unborn, the shit ain't gonna be around for that long. You're gonna have people that might be living up in space, and even those are gonna be far and few between. Because when it comes to survival, it's a doggy dog world out there. So I guarantee if you on that lower echelon of the freaking ladder, your ass ain't gonna survive. Neither is your family. So do something. Do something right now, today, to change. Just one person at a time. How you doing? Good. You know, don't just fit into the norm. Be yourself. Don't conform and mold and be a chameleon and all of that. Be you. Be true to you. Don't get blue. Find you a boo. Do something different. Love one another. Be kind to one another. Listen to one another. You know, people, you guys are wise enough to know when someone's attacking you versus constructive conversation. Don't be so defensive, and you ain't perfect. Ain't nobody perfect in this world. So stop trying to be and stop trying to impress and make everybody happy and wanting everybody to think you're the greatest thing next to sliced bread, because you ain't. None of us are. See, as an individual, pretty powerless. But if we all come together, we become a power that can't be reckoned with, man. Do you get that? Togetherness equals strength and power. God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Be kind to somebody. Be true to yourself. Set boundaries and live by them. It's the most important thing, because we have a choice on everything. What we're willing to put up with, where we're willing to put ourselves at or in situations, whatever the case is, we all have a choice. God bless y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Like I said, be kind to a stranger. Do something different. Just do something different. Make this world a better place than what it is right now. Because I could tell you right now, where the world is disgusting. It's heartbreaking. So when I look back in time and history and feel the energies and the calmness that's no longer there, this world is in a state of chaos. And if something doesn't change, it's just going to get worse. You, my age group, we probably won't be here when it gets to the worst, but guess what? Picture what your offspring is going to have to deal with. You love them. Why would you want them to go through that? Why would you want them to experience that? Make it better. Our children are our future. God bless y'all. Deuces.